Hello and welcome. Welcome for those new to my channel. Welcome for those returning. Welcome back. And happy holidays. This is the Fresh Out of 24 Coastal Crown Loop, one of my favorite routes. 'Cause I like the Maya. It's a climb. I feel like those are good climbs, just long enough to sting, but also just surmountable enough to make you feel like you can take on bigger and stronger, harder climbs. So this route, we go up the Maya, it's a combo, come back around and then go up the Maya again. And so we are just cruising along here in my festive sweater, Zwift sweater. Again, if you um, switch to one of the basic sweaters, it'll automatically switch you to this one for the holidays until they transition it back to the main jersey. And so right now, um, just looking to cruise in the group. We are in the 350 to 520 category and really just looking to stay as long as I can with this group. I looked up the riders on Zwift Power just before I got started, and a lot of strong guys, a lot of guys that are rated, B rated riders in Zwift Power, which I know I'm hoping at some point they transition to the actual, racing categories, so we can stop kind of jumping back and forth. You see, I use my Ghost there because I had it and not really planning on, doing any breakaways with it. Because at this point, I'm starting to feel like, man, this group is going a little bit harder than I thought. We were putting out some decent power, staying in the mid to upper 200s, and you know, I thought it wouldn't go as hard. But then again, like I said, there's a bunch of Bs in this group. So that is, it is what it is. And so here we go, coming up, past the first sprint, which again, nobody wanted to push anything. And as we get past actually, I think that was the second sprint. So as we get started on the mine here, I start putting out a little bit of power. I'm at 83 kilograms right now, so I wanted to really see what it would be like to, you know, to push a little bit harder on the climb with that effort. But my legs were absolutely shattered from the tiny races this past weekend. And so I was hurting. And as much as I wanted to stay up with that front group, they were slowly starting to pull away by the time we got to the top of the climb. And you see my sweat just building up, even though it was probably in the 50s outside. Um, but it was still hot, super hot. Even with the fans going, I'm just overcooked. My legs were hurting, and there goes the front group. They are gone. They're, past the past the banner here, and slowly pulling away. They're about 11, 12 seconds ahead, and just slowly pulling away. I see that I got a couple riders behind me that I could potentially kind of ease up and let them catch up, and then we can kind of work together through the it's a climb. So as we get started, they start to pull ahead, and I do my best to make sure that I keep up with them. Now I feel like it's important to make sure that when you're in this kind of scenario, you participate, meaning you make sure you pull your turns, because towards the end of this race, and actually I don't know if it pops up on the screen. If it does, I'll highlight it. But I guess there was someone that was in that front group that just was not doing any pulls whatsoever, and then launched off the front and ended up soloing. I don't know if it's a victory or just soloing and leaving the group that they were with behind. So I always do my best to make sure that, whenever I'm in a group, I pull up to the front. I give myself an opportunity to kind of stay up front, do a hard effort, and then, keep going. And you see me and this rider keep kind of going back and forth. I end up easing off, letting them get up front. And then on the climbs, I'm going the effort that I know I can go. I'm, in the mid 200s, upper 200s to make sure that, I can not only rest on these flat parts, but then also put some pressure at the top. Um, and as you see, the riders slowly starting to fall back. They're about 1 second behind me right now. And, thanks to the featherweight, I end up pulling forward quite a bit on this climb right here. About 6, 7 seconds ahead, 4 seconds now. the person's catching up a bit. So I get to the banner and just keep going forward. Again, my focus is, can I, you know, if this person's willing to work and work hard, and can I, get there? Obviously, use the super tuck as best you can on this portion of the race, which I know this race is now a few days past, so this will be for future reference if you know if there's a race with this course again. So just kind of cruising here. I got, the next person is 3-4 seconds ahead of me. I see them coming, so I figured, hey, I can, work up to them, catch up, and again, rest a little bit on their wheel while I'm in the draft, and then kind of, pull forward and see if we can go to the next person. This point, I actually felt really good. I felt like I could hold, a decent pace in the, hovering in the 200s, 300s, low 300s, but really staying in the mid to low 200s, just trying to pace myself. Because, like I said before, I'm dropped by the group. So we catch up to this person here. Um, and, I figure we can all stay together. We'll pull some turns. You'll see that, the way that this group ends up working, even though none of us communicated it, we were basically time trialing it. It was awesome. So you see this person in the black jersey pulls front, and I ease off a little bit, and we kind of switch orders again. I ended up taking a screenshot here because I thought it was awesome to see, how we were just perfectly in the line. This again, person in the front eases off. I message them, great job, great pull, because that is what teamwork's about. So I start pulling ahead, and as I'm off the front, I'm a reasonably experienced time trialer. So, when I get up to the front, I'm putting a decent effort for me, which can translate to a little bit more than what the group might maybe wanted to do. But my focus is, can I speed the group up? While they're in my draft, can I speed the group up? Because maybe we can catch some riders in front of us. We're not that far behind. We're about 45 seconds from the next, group of riders. And so as we come up to the Mayan here, again, it's, as much as I would love to say it, it's all for themselves on these climbs. Unfortunately, you can't, there's not much drafting you're going to get on these climbs. So you might as well just climb at your pace. You see I'm hovering in the, mid to upper 200s, 300s. I start to ease off a little bit because at this point, I'm wrecked. I'm exhausted and just ready to, get this over with. I'm doing my best to stay within the gear that I'm in, so I'm not shifting back and forth a lot. So that way, when I'm on the harder parts of the climb, I can push a little bit towards 300 watts. And then on the easier parts, I just let it naturally be what it is. And so still got my featherweight and just coming up to the top section here. And I know this double red section is probably the best part to use the feather, because you're basically done at this point. I know there's some steeper parts on the beginning of this climb, but you're basically done here, and you might as well use that momentum to get to the flat part at the top. And so, as you see, I crossed the line in 34th place. Not bad. I feel like this group was a much stronger group. I'll show um, the Zwift Power results. I don't remember what I got in Zwift Power, but honestly, Zwift Power doesn't matter to me. I look at what you get across when you cross the line. And so, you know, these guys were a lot of strong riders, a lot of, what Zwift Power still has categorized as B, B riders. And so here we go. Uh, someone had mentioned that, you know, that someone was off the front and, weren't pulling turns. And I was like, definitely not me. I pull my turns. I like pulling turns. I like bridging. I feel like that is where my strengths are at in these short, hard efforts for a minute, 2 minutes. Um, so here we go, back down the climb just to end this off. So hopefully you enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one.